ceases to amaze me that, number one, that we can't do that little number right there. It never ceases to amaze me. The conversations that happen after great things in sports happen. You know, last week, there was a discussion on Barstool Sports between T-Bob Hebert, who we all know, and Brandon Walker of Barstool Sports. And in that whole situation, there was a situation where they had a conversation about Jay Johnson and who the best coach in college baseball was. And I listened to the conversation, and he believed it was Tony Vitello. And obviously, T-Bob thought it was Jay Johnson, which then sparked me after LSU went to a second national title final or College World Series final to repost the Brandon Walker conversation about Tony Vitello and about saying that he was the best coach. And it's interesting to me about the conversations that get had on social media about sports, because when you start having conversations about the reality, not just made up what if fairy tale land, but what actually happens in reality, that we find what the truth is. Now, Brandon Walker came out and said that Tony Vitello built Tennessee, and me and him on Twitter today, he took some petty shots, but I wasn't falling for him, really. If you want to have a conversation, then come on and have a conversation. I do think that Brandon is a little too chicken to come on here and have the conversation. I mean, quite honestly, I don't believe that he has enough baseball knowledge about Jay Johnson and his situation to go out there and say and back and defend Tony Vitello when Jay Johnson has a better record over him in those last couple of seasons. But nevertheless, his argument to me today was about Jay Johnson isn't the best head coach in the country because anybody can do what he's doing at LSU. Really? That's interesting. Are you sure? And even if anybody in the country could do what Jay Johnson is doing at LSU, which is going to 2 finals in 3 seasons, well, then I just beg the question, well, then when LSU was down with Pulmonary and all these other situations happened and you had a drought from 2009, the last time that you won a national title, then 8 years you went back to one and you lost it against Florida, and Jay Johnson has gone to 2 in the last 3 seasons. Who else has gone to 3 final appearances in the last 8 seasons? Oh, wait, no one. No one. No one has been in the College World Series final in the last 8 seasons more than Jay Johnson. No one. Now, there have been a couple back-to-backs in there. You know, you got your boy out in Nashville. You got your boy out in Vandy who's won a pair. But in the modern era that we are living in, no one has done more in college baseball over the last 4 years, in which we should technically say 8, kind of more than Jay Johnson. Now, if he doesn't win it, it doesn't change my perspective of him. And if he wins it, then it definitely changes the perspective of college baseball as a whole. Now, a lot of you asked me, are we going on a dynasty run with Jay Johnson? Let's let him win this weekend. But the argument remains for me in this. And the argument remains about Arkansas, about who Arkansas is. His other argument to me on social media today, and I hope that some of you caught this, was that Arkansas is one of the most consistent programs in the country. They're great. It means nothing when LSU has gotten to 3 World Series appearances since 2017, and LSU literally, with Jay Johnson, has gotten to 2 of them. Arkansas consistently wins 20 games in the SEC every year. Would they rather go 17-13 if it got them a national title? You're damn right they would have. You're damn right they would have. They would have definitely done that. 1 SEC title. Guys, they've got an SEC title under Dave Van Horn. And last night, if we're going to call a spade, Jay Johnson ran circles around Dave Van Horn. He ran circles around him. Now, I know that Jay respects Dave Van Horn more than any other coach in the SEC, and he should. The problem in that is whether it be the Jake Brown pitch hit appearance, whether it be the situation of getting to Root early and Dave Van Horn panicking early, and Jay playing small ball to get Root out of there, who, guys, quite honestly, maybe should have gone against LSU last night and should have been saved. But the bottom line remains, because you've been to 3 national title finals since 2017. Since 2017. Tony Vitello has not done what Jay Johnson has done. So the argument being that Tony Vitello or Dave Van Horn or Kevin O'Sullivan, which you could say O'Sullivan's up there and you could have the discussion. That's probably more of the discussion that you might want to have if we're being blunt and honest. But Jay Johnson, for what it's worth, right now should lead the pack. Now, let me throw this scenario out to you. Bear Bryant built Alabama, did he not? Thumbs up, thumbs down in the chat. Bear Bryant, it would assume to me, at least the way that I see it, he built Alabama. Just because Bear Bryant built Alabama, does it make it any less that Nick Saban is the greatest head coach of all time? No, it doesn't. Is Dabo Swinney's national titles more important or bigger because he did something at Clemson that Nick Saban didn't have to do? The infrastructure at Bama was always there. Somebody just had to unlock it, and Nick did that. I think we all can admit, whether LSU fans want to admit it or not, we should and can all admit that what he did was not started by him. Wasn't started by him. They had their own pulmonary run. Wasn't started by him. They won a national title without the Bear, and then Nick rattled off 5 of them, 6 of them, whatever it was. Does it make Nick Saban less of a coach because somebody came before him and built something? It doesn't make Jay Johnson any less of a coach because Skip Bertman, quote unquote, built LSU. I will remind you of something. LSU was 13-17 when Paul Mainieri retired. And I put retired for all of those listening on the audio podcast in air quotes, when he got forced out. Now, you got to a super regional because Oregon fell flat on their faces and they couldn't overcome an SEC team that went 13-17 and they got embarrassed. There was no reason why Oregon should have lost that regional, but they did. Then you got absolutely smoked by Tennessee. The bottom line remains, when Jay Johnson came in here, he had already been to Omaha twice, at Arizona, and been to a final. And he came to a program with what, no matter what anybody wants to say, he came to a program at LSU that gave more of a shit about baseball than Arizona did. A place that he always envied in going. And guys, quite honestly, let's call it what it is. He also got to a final with LSU this year without the quote-unquote Tommy Tanks and Paul Skeens, without the Dylan Cruz. Now you have your Bear Jones, right? You have your Derek Curiel. You have your Stephen Milams. I get it. Paul Skeens was the NL All-Star starting pitcher. He is the best ERA in Major League Baseball. He might be the best pitcher in the game, and probably is. Dylan Cruz is up in the league. Oh, and by the way, just throwing this out there, Grant Taylor was on that team, is pitching for the White Sox. Jay Johnson couldn't even use him because he got hurt in the beginning of the season. This argument from Barstool that constantly comes out about LSU, whether it be Angel Reese, whether it be football, regardless of whatever it is that they're complaining, I think that when it comes to college baseball, people do not cover it year round, right? They don't pay attention to baseball until the postseason. And so when I come out here and get pissed off because you and I were in a post game in a midweek at 11 p.m. at night and we're yelling at one another, they don't know the struggles that you and I have went through. They look at Vitello as the public figure and don't want to go to Google and say, well, what has Jay Johnson really done? It's a lazy-ass take from a lazy-ass dude who didn't put in the work and said, well, T-Bob just saying that because he's from LSU. And quite honestly, I love T-Bob. I don't know if T-Bob was neither, number one, ready for the conversation, but had the data behind him. And that's no shot at T-Bob. But I don't know if he knew, like, what Jay Johnson had truly done. And now, when a guy was compared to Ed Orgeron, and when he was compared to making decisions like Les Miles, we had people on our media corps saying that he makes decisions like Les Miles. What are we doing? Guys, here is the truth, because I know a lot of you follow us on Twitter. I know a lot of you do, and a lot of you that are in here, of the 37,000 of you that follow us on Twitter, I'm sure a lot of you saw the reaction interaction between me and Brandon Walker. I gave him the invitation, and he's going to big league me because he doesn't know what he doesn't know. He's not in the trenches, so he doesn't want to have the argument because, quite honestly, he's chicken shit. But we can go on Twitter and tap our little fingers, but when it comes down to getting face-to-face, we won't do it. That's chicken shit to me. It's chicken shit. But the bottom line remains, to LSU fans, is this. Guys, there's a very strong possibility that you have a guy like Nick Saban, might not ever win. He might not win this weekend, might not ever win another national title. I don't know. All of that remains to be seen. All of it remains to be seen. Guys, you might have a Nick Saban, Skip Bertman type dude on your hands in Jay Johnson. You might have him. You might have him. But just because Skip Bertman came before Jay Johnson doesn't mean that he hasn't had to navigate through more hurdles than anybody. I will remind you, Skip Bertman did not go through the portal. He didn't go through NIL. He didn't go through that situation. It's completely different. And oh, by the way, so many teams around the country give a shit about baseball now. All of that and the legacy of Jay Johnson remains to be seen. There's nobody else in the country that I would want to be my head coach for my baseball team. Nobody. There's not. The person does not exist. For right now, the person does not exist. And I think you should be behind that. Emotionally, if you don't win, I understand how all of you are going to feel. Guys, you're going up against a great team, and quite honestly, we will do a deep dive on Coastal Carolina tonight. We will. But we're going to have to see what happens in that legacy. If you're asking me, you got the 2 out of the last 3, well, we'll have to wait and see. All right. Everybody do us a favor. Hit the like and share to all those groups if you're on Facebook and to all those social media pages. If you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe and notification bell. We greatly appreciate that. So, like I mentioned, we're going to do a deep dive on Coastal Carolina here tonight. We're going to have a lot of baseball talk. But I got to admit something before we get rolling in all of this. I am going to Omaha. Last night in the post game, I asked all of you your opinion on if I should go or not. Guys, LSU is not going to lose or win or lose because I go or don't go. They're not going to lose because I go or don't go. They're not. I will remind you that in 2022, I went to Southern Miss and they won, and when I wasn't there, they lost. Just because I went to one Tennessee game doesn't mean anything. I'm going to be there, and I hope to see a lot of you. I hope that you come up to us and talk to us. I hope that, or to me, I hope you come say hello. It's going to be really fun. Who all's going? Who all's going? Let us know in the chat. I hope to see all of you. I would love to talk to all of you. So it's going to be very fun. Yes, John says we all be live in Omaha. We're going to be hooking up with Chris Phillips, our guy, our good friend over at SEC Unfiltered. We're going to do some form of postgame. I don't know if it's live completely yet. We're going to figure all that out. There's a lot going on. But I truly, we're going to be filming content. Content will be out there. I promise you. I promise you that. So, yeah. That UCLA shortstop isn't going anywhere. And we have Milam. I don't know if that's directed to me. But yeah. He also Dim Tigers on YouTube says keyboard warriors, brother. Yeah, keyboard warriors. All of them. And listen, like in the post game last night, from Jay, he refused to take any credit. Refused it. Refused to take any credit. Put it all on the players, and good on him. Good on him. So yeah. James says, Blake, do a post game from Omaha. We'll do something to that effect. We'll try to go live. I don't know how effective it will or will not be, but we're definitely going to do everything we can. But we will be there. Mitch Como says, yes, I fly in Saturday from North Carolina. Yeah, we're flying in Saturday as well. I think hopefully the planes or whatever, they don't go stupid. I'm hearing a lot of people are having delays and shit like that. I hope that doesn't happen to me, and I surely hope it doesn't happen to any of y'all, because that would absolutely suck. James says, heck yeah, brother. Yeah, we're going to be there. We're going to be there. Chase is in the 318. Always got you back, big homie. I greatly appreciate that. David says, don't want that UCLA shortstop hasn't produced in postseason at the plate. Yeah, I mean, that's tough, man. That's tough. I would take him. I'd move Stephen Milam right back over to second base. Y'all know you ought to take him. Stop that. Shit, put him at second base. I don't care. Guys, he might be the number 1 overall pick. So he had a bad postseason. Bear Jones was having a bad postseason until he wasn't, too. I mean, the dude played in 2 games, 3 games. I'm not ready to go there. I wouldn't go there. Kids, Chalowski's really good. He's very, very, very good. All right, before we get rolling, let me talk about this. So Josh Jordan is going to be staying at LSU, the LSU recruiting coordinator and the third base coach for your LSU Tigers. Guys, this is a massive win for LSU. I know we had talked about him going to Duke. Duke is going in a different direction. They're going with Wake Forest's pitching coach. In reference to Josh Jordan, guys, as Jay Johnson alluded to last week, and as he alluded to this week, he doesn't think that there's been any more critical of a assistant coach that he's had more than Josh Jordan. And he means that especially from the recruiting standpoint. And he's probably right. Josh Jordan, who is the front runner to go to Duke, more than likely, guys, keeping him saved you a lot of stuff for Jay. I am a little bit surprised, if I'm being honest with you, that he's staying at LSU. I am really surprised, because I will tell you this. There were, at least people talking to me, there were a lot of people who believed that he was going to Duke and that LSU would target Nolan Cain. And in that target, if he were to leave, I fully believe that they were going after Nolan Cain. And I do think that Nolan Cain wanted to come back home, because Josh Jordan is an absolute dog when it comes to recruiting and portal. He is just as relentless as Jay Johnson is. He was a massive part of what has built up Duke baseball. 33 players in 10 years that he recruited at Duke got drafted. That is insane. It is a massive win, because as a head coach, you want an elite recruiter. Josh Jordan is that, And guys, quite honestly, recruiting is the lifeblood that fuels the dreams of champions. If you don't recruit at a high level, and guys, you've recruited at a very high level, an extremely high level. When you recruit at a very high level, you find yourself in the situation that you're currently in. As an example, the day that I'll give one example. The day that Anthony Ianson went into the transfer portal, the first person per Anthony Ianson that he was on the phone with was Jay Johnson, that was set up by Josh Jordan. How's Anthony Ianson been this season? Good, bad, or indifferent? Y'all, we all know the answer to that. So I wanted to talk about Josh Jordan. He is an elite dude, man. A very elite dude. It's massive that you keep him. All right. Let's get moving here. Everybody do us a favor. Hit that like and share to all those groups if you're on Facebook and to all those social media pages. You're watching us, listening to us on YouTube. Like, subscribe, notification bell, wherever you listen to podcasts. Rate, review, and subscribe. Let me get to a quick break. When we come back, we break down Coastal Carolina next. Stay with us. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way for you to wager on all of your favorite sports, contests, events with the first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews for all the news for each league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, college sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all of your sports information for live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head on over to BetOnline today and use your mobile device to join and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BELIEVE50, that's BELIEVE50, BLEAV 50, to receive your 50% off welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's betonline.ag, betonline.ag.
He will sell your house and find you a new. Well, Tyler's the man, he's here for you. If you want to buy or sell, well, it's not too late. Dial 955-0008. Just call 955-0008. Y'all call Tyler, he'll shoot you straight.
Guys, let me tell you about our good friends over at Grand Slam Heating and Air, where your comfort is their top priority. At Grand Slam Heating and Air, they promise to provide customers with high-quality HVAC service at an affordable price while ensuring the homeowner peace of mind. From their office to your home, they guarantee the best hassle-free experience around. Efficiency and comfort is their game. Let them make your home Grand Slam today. At Grand Slam Heating and Air, they're offering their annual maintenance plan starting off at $18.75 a month and also doing those $99 tune-up promotion. They provide free estimates for system and ductwork replacement, as well as offering financing to get the job done with no money up front. From Baton Rouge to Hammond to Covington, they're all around. So what you need to do today, give them a call at 225-380-9065. That's 225-380-9065. Or go over to their website, getgrandslamair.com. That's getgrandslamair.com, where your comfort is their top priority. Hey, guys, I want to tell you about our good friends over at Red Stick Financial. They're your local residential mortgage broker located right here in the heart of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. At Red Stick Financial, they find the bank that works for your particular set of needs to purchase the home of your dreams or refinance the current one. They truly are your partners in this process, and they pride themselves in helping individuals and families with one simple goal in mind, and that is to make home financing approachable, attainable, and stress-free. They are licensed in all Louisiana, Texas, and Mississippi. So from Amarillo to Meridian and everything in between, they have you covered. Red Stick Financial brings you creative, customized solutions, and they don't believe in the one-size-fits-all when it comes to loans. They even have special options for mobile and manufactured homes located in a flood zone and stated income financing for those of us who are self-employed borrowers. If you or someone you know is looking to buy a home, refinance an existing mortgage, or simply want to know what options are out there for your future, Give Red Stick Financial a call today at 225-407-9250. That's 225-407-9250. Or check him out online at redstickfinancial.com. That's redstickfinancial.com. Before you purchase the home of your dreams or you go and do that refinance, you need to go local. Go Red Stick.
We're back.
All right. Stanley and Reed says, what we looking at this staff? Are they really that good? If you're talking about Coastal Carolina's pitching staff, the answer to that is hell yes. So we're going to break down Coastal Carolina tonight. So this is what we're going to do. You're going to see a lot of content flying out your way in the next 24 to 48 hours. We've done some interviews. You'll see this one again. You'll see our deep dive. You'll see the snippets. You'll see all the stuff. But tonight, we got to take a deep dive before we go into Omaha, before we take what will be one of the best runs to the College World Series final and what might be one of the best final series that maybe guys that we've ever seen. We'll have a lot of content out there, but tonight we're going to take a look at Coastal Carolina. And the question that we just had here from Stanley was, Blake, is this pitching staff for Coastal Carolina very good? The answer is yes, at least from what we've seen from them so far this season. Guys, it's not like Coastal Carolina played against bad teams. I know that we look at the logo. I know that we look at everything that they've done and them coming from the conference that they're in and say to ourselves, man, they haven't really gone up against great teams or great competition. And quite honestly, guys, I call bullshit. The reason I call bullshit is because, guys, they went into Auburn, a place that you could not go into and won 2 out of 3 games, and they didn't have to play the third one. I look at what they did against Auburn from start to bottom, from stop to top. Now, you are 2 completely different teams, in my humble opinion, or you're a completely different team than when you were and where you were when you faced off against Auburn so many months ago. But in that Auburn series, Chase Shores was still going from the windup and wasn't coming out of the pen. Zach Cowan was your lead arm. And we were starting to figure out if Anthony Ianson was the real deal or not, which he is. But when I look at Coastal Carolina, there's a couple of things that we need to discuss. Coming into the College World Series, they had won 23 straight games. They had not lost a game since March 22nd. And in that 23-game run, guys, it had been very impressive. But the most impressive thing in all of it had been what they've done from the mound. From a starting pitching perspective and what they've done out of the bullpen, it has been absolutely fantastic. Now, I will be honest with you. There are things that I would do if I were them, but I'm not going to act as if or act like that I know exactly what Coastal Carolina is going to do from a pitching rotation standpoint. Because even though I think that they're going to go Morrison in game 1, I don't have any clue. But when I look at, and let's look at the 3 starting guys and what they did in the first go-around in Coastal Carolina, they threw 2 of their weekend guys in the game 1 scenario. Who are some of the guys that you're going to face off against? Number 1, Jacob Morrison, who is 12-0 on the season with a 2.08 ERA and in 104 innings pitched. He's given up 73 hits with 24 earned runs. He's only walked 22 batters and struck out 102. Guys, that might be the second arm that you see on the weekend. Guys, that might be the guy that they go to close it out. Morrison already had a very elite performance so far in the College World Series. You are going up against a guy who all year, and a guy who has been one of, if not the backbone to getting them to Omaha, and not only Omaha, but getting them to the final against you. It comes on the arm of Jacob Morrison. It comes on the arm of Riley Effort, who did pitch against Louisville in game 3. who on the season has a 3.10 ERA. He's 7-2 on the year with 90 innings pitched. He did give up 91 hits, but he's only allowed 31 earned runs. Gus, he's only walked 11 batters in 71 innings. Or 90 innings. He's only walked 11 hitters. 71 strikeouts in those 90 innings. Teams are hitting 260 off of him. He wants to force you to contact. He wants you to get the ball on the ground. Zach Cowan, anyone? Same style, not same pitcher, not even remotely close, but same understanding and principle. Or the third guy in what some believe could be in the rotation here, or you might even see in game one in some scenario, in Cameron Flukie, who was 7-1 on the season with a 3.29 ERA with 95 2/3 innings pitched. He's given up 74 hits, 35 earned runs. Guys, he struck out 109, and he's walked out 22. So, in reference to this starting rotation, there are two schools of thought here. The two schools of thought would be, well, Blake, number one, all season, these guys may be very talented and very good. But even though they're very talented and good, have they gone up against a team that is like you? Have they gone up against a team that has a guy like Cade Anderson and Anthony Ianson that can also shut them down offensively? The answer to that question is no. Guys, if you remember, in 2023, LSU did not see Florida in the regular season for the first time in quite some time. But the best team that you saw all year, even better than Wake Forest, in my humble opinion, was that Florida team. And I don't think it's remotely close with guys like, well, Jack Caglione. How's he doing? Oh, by the way, Jack Caglione just got his first home run in Major League Baseball the other night. Yeah, he doesn't suck. Wyatt Langford didn't even go down to double or triple A. He went right into Major League Baseball with the Texas Rangers. Did he suck? No, he didn't. Normally, you see the best teams in the finals if you haven't seen them all year. Now, here's my thing with Coastal and why I still believe that this unit, this starting unit, this three-pitcher, three-headed monster unit that you're going to go up against. Because Zach Cowan had elite stats at Wofford and is coming to the SEC and was a first-team All-SEC reliever. Total this season, he went 8 1/3 against Arkansas, who is and has the most dangerous lineup in the country from an offensive power perspective. And guys, he gave up a run. In 8 innings pitched, he gave up a run. Now, when I look at baseball versus any other sport, you will hear the term that quote unquote shit that plays or shit plays. Guys, Jacob Morrison is a flat out dude. Their pitching staff has flat out dudes. Again, I don't think that they have gone up against a team like you. I don't. I 1000% don't. Talent for talent, bust for bust. And what will be a home environment for LSU? I do not think that they've seen a team like you. But Auburn's got a lot of talent too, and they shut them down. See, the question that I've been fielding all day from just talking this upcoming series was, well, Blake, they haven't played anybody. Guys, they went up against an SEC team on the road in a super regional and shut them down. I don't think Auburn sucked. Sorry, I don't think Auburn sucked. They went right through them. Because the truth of it is the reason that they've been able to win 26 straight games going into a game versus you And if you win it, you're going to Are we back? Are we back? Yes, we're back. All right. I don't even know where we left off. This time I can't blame it on the internet. We do have very bad weather that's passing over the studio right now, and I do wonder if that is what is affecting all of this. Surely it is. I apologize. Tweet, share, post, tell everybody that we're back. Tell everybody that we're back. We're back online, baby. We are back online. All right. Sorry for the inconvenience there, but nothing we can really do about that. Nothing we can do about that. All right. Text, tweet, send messages. Sorry about that. Power went out. It is we are getting hammered right now. I should have known this was going to happen. Very unprofessional for me, but it is what it is, I guess. It is what it is. All right. Everybody hit the like and share. Doug Ray. All right. So this is a good place to pick it up back up. If you are going to beat Coastal Carolina, you're going to have to do something that nobody has done once in the last month and a half, since March 22nd, whenever March 22nd does, 2 months. Guys, it's June 19th. It's June 19th. They haven't lost since March. You're going to have to do something that no one else has done. That 26-game win streak is on the backs, literally on the backs of Jacob Morrison, Riley Effort, and Cameron Flukie. That is where, and that is the main reason that they are in the situation that they're in and why they've done what they've done. Now, the level of competition, it would be crazy in a way. You know, LSU Shreveport won a national title this year, and they didn't lose a game at all. They haven't lost a game since March 22nd. And the main point that I want to hit home here tonight is this. My question will be, is how does Coastal Carolina respond from being in a situation where they have not been oftentimes, if at all really, that they feel this season? Guys, the last time that they lost was to the College of Charleston on March the 22nd. In an environment that will play to you, I would expect a lot of LSU fans like myself, which we are all, or I am going to Omaha, and we will be on our way tomorrow. I would assume a lot of you are going as well. In an environment that will favor you. Guys, you're playing in a neutral site situation that's going to be filled in purple and gold. Don't misunderstand because of a logo how good this team is. They went into Auburn and waxed that ass. Now, let's talk about this. Well, I probably should go to their bullpen. By the way, after you go through the three arms that you're going to see from either a starting / relieving type situation, which Jay Johnson kind of did against Texas A&M in game 1 of the SEC tournament, which, by the way, never mattered. Remember when people were complaining that winning the SEC tournament to make sure you're locked up a national seed will dictate who you are and where you've been? Remember all that shit? Remember that conversation that people were having? So dumb. Regardless, they did it in game 1 in the College World Series. But their bullpen is led by their closer, Ryan Lynch. Guys, in 31 innings, he's given up 2 runs all year. He's got 9 saves on the season. Guys, he has a 0.58 ERA on the year. If they go to him, no one in the country's hit him that they've seen so far. Nobody. Along with him, Dom Corbone, who's got 27 appearances on the season. In 40 innings pitched, guys, he's given up 11 runs. They also are going to go to Hayden Jordan. They're going to go to Matt Patak. Guys, they got a lot of arms. From a mound situation, from their arm situation, guys, you could make the argument that outside of Arkansas and maybe outside of Tennessee, maybe, guys, Coastal Carolina might have the best arms that you've seen all year outside of Arkansas. And you know how grueling and brutal it was for you to generate runs against them. The thing that I will say is that I don't know if they've seen a team like you. Winning game one is always critical. But guys, on the flip side of that, and the flip side of what they can do on the mound, guys, I got to be honest, they ain't got Cade Anderson, and they don't have Anthony Einson. So let's look at Coastal Carolina from an offensive perspective. Guys, they're led by Caden Bodine, Caden Bodine, their catcher. Guys, they've talked about him all weekend, some of the strikes that are outside the zone that he's gotten for strikes, and defensively how good he's been. A catcher that wears a turtleneck, by the way, which is crazy, but he does. Guys, Caden Bodine is their best offensive weapon all around. 5 home runs on the season, 78 hits, 19 being extra base hits. But, guys, he's only struck out 23 times this season. A catcher that most believe is the best in the game all around, and Caden Bodine has been the talk for Coastal Carolina. He's hitting .326, which leads their team. Guys, offensively, they have not been juggernauts. They aren't juggernauts. But Coastal Carolina, offensively and defensively on the field, guys, they do everything fundamentally right. I thought the best way that it was explained was Coastal Carolina is built a lot like Augie Garrido's teams in the past. They are truly built like what a West Coast type of team should look like. Guys, they will take a lot of pitches. In taking a lot of pitches, they will strike out a lot. And even though they strike out a lot, they are going to try to get these starting pitchers' pitch count way up. It's what they did against Auburn. It's what they did in their regional. It's what they did against Florida. It's what they've done against everyone. By the way, they went through Florida, who might have been the hottest team in the SEC at the time, and walked them down. They walked down everyone. I don't know if they technically played Florida, but regardless in that, they walked down ECU, who walked down Florida. The bottom line remains is if you allow walks, if you allow an error, if you allow a lack in judgment, guys, they will play small ball on steroids. You give up a walk. Bodine, who's the catcher who leads it off, he draws a leadoff walk, which he's seen a lot this year and walked a lot this year. They are going to bunt him over. They will play small ball. They're going to get him on, get him over, and then everybody from that point forward, 3, 4, or 5, is going to try to get him in. That is the way that their lineup is built. You can see it statistically. It's the way that their lineup is built. Guys, you can go in order. You can go in order from the guys that hit more for power and the guys that hit more extra base hits and want to get the elevation on the baseball. You will see them in the middle of the lineup, and then you have a lot of contact guys behind it. Guys that can get on, then guys that can get them over, and then guys that can get them in. They play small ball well. Analytically, they do everything that the analytics say that maybe you should do. They are fundamentally sound every which way. You will look up a lot like Auburn if you're not careful and say, all right, well, you gave up 1 run there. All right, shit, you gave up 2. You gave up another run. Okay, well, you scored a run that inning. It's 2-1. Then they'll get 1 again. So then it's 3-1. And before you know it, like Auburn, they've scored 7 runs in 4 or 5 innings. they do everything fundamentally well. And quite honestly, you're going to have to force them to play in a way that eliminates that. What do I mean? What's the opposite of small ball? Guys, get enough runs early to where they can't do that, and they can't stack runs, that they can't be out on top and do what they want to do. The pressure has not been on Coastal a lot this season. They've gotten up early, they have struck early, and they've been able to maintain through a really good pitching staff and a really good bullpen. And that's how they've worn down teams. They have worn teams down, like being in a situation of a super regional where they're in a 15 pitch at bat. One of their guys was in a 15 pitch at bat and then hits a home run over the green wall at Auburn. They will do everything fundamentally well. And quite honestly, they remind me a little bit of what they looked like in 2016, but better. They are better than that team. But guys, from an offensive standpoint, they have one guy in Blake Berthal that's got double-digit home runs. They want to get him over, get him. They want to get him on, get him over, get him in. If there's a runner on second with one out or less, they're going to do everything humanly possible to get the ball on the ground to the right side of the infield. They have perfected it. It's why they are here. How many of you saw Coastal this week? Now, they didn't have to, in all regards, play the way that they've done all season because they were barreling up a lot of baseballs this week. They have done some really impressive shit. They're not going to hit Cade or Anthony, in my opinion, for massive power. They will string a couple hits together. They will get the ball down, and they will get them in. And defensively, if you're not fundamentally sound your damn self, they will beat you. You're in a national championship game. You're in a national championship series. The time of you thinking that you're not in the biggest of dogfights is over. Now, I have spent a lot of time talking about them, and we can go down their order with Bodine, Alexander, Thorndike, Bethal, Mitchell, Padot, Mijos, Dooley, Skies, or Taz or Torres, whichever way we want to go here. You can look at them, and I could bore you with all the statistical analytical data because they don't hit for many extra base hits. They have a lot of hits on the season. They will single you and sacrifice you to death. It's what they do. It's who they are. Now, there is a chink in their armor. And let's start talking about how LSU starts attacking this. Guys, they strike out a lot. Imagine the K rate of Bear Jones for some of these guys without the power. I look at Blake Berthal, their power hitter. He struck out 70 times on the season. Guys, the top three of their lineup, the top four in their lineup, 3 of 4 of their lineup, because Bodine has not struck out a lot this year. They've struck out 187 times collectively, 2, 3, and 4. That is a lot. That is a lot. So a lot of you think that you have a lot of those same problems. Guys, they have them right there equally with you. Where they have struggled and where they've kept games close and teams have kept games close on them, locating off speed, challenging them up in the zone, and not allowing them to play small ball. You know, Arkansas almost came back against them because Arkansas started making plays defensively. But in the Super Regional, they laid down a bunt, and Auburn could not make the play, and it was over. But they started walking guys. Then they had a hit by pitch. Then they laid down a bunt. Then they laid down another bunt, and the third baseman can't make a play. Fundamentally sound has got to be the way that you go, because if not, you're toast. And switching gears, guys, I really do believe, though, in everything that when we look at them, when I look at your starting pitching staff versus their offense, we have seen at times Cade Anderson get touched. We've seen Anthony Ianson the same. But I feel as if that Coastal Carolina has not remotely come close from a talent standpoint to see any of the two arms that you will have going on Saturday and on Sunday regardless. It's going to be hot, and they wear black. So maybe they'll get dehydrated and it'll take it all out of them. It's like when Florida wore orange in Game 3. How dumb. Just so stupid, so dumb. I don't know why they do that, but it is dumb. You're wearing black and it's going to be 100 degrees. You're an idiot. And I wear black a lot. I love wearing the color black, regardless of that. You have an offensive team in Coastal Carolina that I think that you're going to get to. I think Cade's going to be able to get to him early. You know, the last time we saw Cade Anderson, he pitched for a lot of contact against Arkansas. And I don't know if that wasn't a game plan and strategy to set things up for him and for you. I think Cade Anderson can take it to him, man. I got to be real with you early on in the game, and you don't – I want them to prove that they can hit Cade Anderson around. And if they can, good on them. You tip your cap, and then you readjust quickly. I don't think they're going to be able to do that. I just don't believe that they're going to be able to do that. For you offensively, I think you're going to be able to get to them because I don't think they've seen a lineup like yours, not start to finish. So my thoughts here are this. They're really good on the mound, and bullpen is really good. Guys, you got to just continue to do what you've been doing. You saw, from a talent perspective, you saw a better pitching staff against Arkansas in 2 games. You did. Replicate some of the successes that you had, and you'll be fine. Guys, they play small ball. They do everything fundamentally right and fundamentally well. And when you do that in baseball, it's like perfecting the triple option. They remind me of Florida with Urban Meyer in some ways. Now, Urban had a lot of power at quarterback, but they're going to perfect the veer and they're going to perfect the option. They're going to spread you out, and they're going to do everything humanly possible to knock you out. And they're going to do everything they can to get to you, death by 1,000 cuts. You know, in football, the veer is making a defense actually react without ever having to block them. You making the right decisions over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, they're going to make you do that same thing, which propels me to say this. I'm starting Michael Braswell at third base. I don't think that you have a choice. I know that he's a quote-unquote automatic out, and I hope Braswell's bat gets things going. I really do. But I will tell you this. Defensively, you're going to need him. You will need him. They do everything well. I want you to get their pitch count up, but be selectively, quote-unquote, aggressive. Guys, I don't think that you can allow Coastal Carolina, not in this series when you're trying to drain the arms like you did against Arkansas. I really, really, really do not believe that you should take these first pitch fastballs down the pipe. If they're giving them to you, swing the stick. And I think you'll get to them. I really think that you will get to them. Selectively aggressive. Somebody is going to have to come through. Now, I think that you just eliminated the best and most talented team that was still in the field. Now you're going up against the most fundamental one. It will be very interesting to see the game plan from LSU offensively early. Normally, their game plan is to let that pitch count right up from the starting pitcher, get to him in the 4th, 5th inning, and really start tattooing him. Really start tattooing him. Let the game come to you. Let him think that he can go in with a first pitch fastball like what Arkansas did to Bear Jones and hit the ball the other way. And hit the ball a long way. But I want you to be selectively aggressive in the first inning. And don't be scared to swing it. The last thing here in my thoughts. We've gone through this whole deep dive, and we haven't mentioned this yet, even with the power outage. Guys, I want revenge. And I know that your head coach wants revenge too. Guys, in 2016, the same year that Coastal Carolina would play Arizona for a national championship and beat Jay Johnson. It's funny how baseball works. You know, you got revenge against Florida for that 2017 College World Series final. When Jay Johnson, Paul Skeens, Dylan Cruz, Brayton Jobert, Trey Morgan, Tommy White, the list goes, Ty Floyd, the list goes on and on. They got you revenge against Florida. And now you have a chance to go and get it again in 2016, this year from 2016. I don't know if this team is going to know or even care because there's no motivation that you have to have. You're playing in a national title series. This is it. This is it. This is for the whole enchilada. This is for everything. But for me, I want revenge. And when you wear that jersey, when you wear those 3 letters in the front of your chest, on the top of your hat, it means something. Want to go down as one of the greatest teams ever? I know a lot of you won't believe that they are. Because if they win a World Series, because they're a great team. They're even more than that. I told you last week that when I made my bracket, the team that came out of the left side of the bracket that I wanted was Coastal Carolina. I went with my heart and not my gut. I wanted revenge. We're here now. It's time to go take it to that Chanticleer ass. And what in the hell is a Chanticleer, by the way? We will see, man. They are dangerous. I think you're going to win it. Clearly. That's why I'm going. I think you're going to win it. I don't know if you're going to do it in 2 games. I don't know if you're going to do it in 3. But I think you're going to do it. I really, really, really do. If you get out, here's what I'll say, because we won't have time to do a keys to victory. Here's what I'll say. If LSU gets up early and makes Coastal Carolina chase runs early in the game, I think that that will be the game plan. That should be the game plan. It should always be the game plan, but you know what I'm trying to say. I don't think that they can offensively overcome Anderson and Ianson alike. I don't. And I think that Anthony Ianson really wants to get back that Arkansas start. And guys, you're going to your ace. You're going to your ace. If they're going to beat you, I don't want it to come off of fundamental stupid shit. I want it to come off of, hey, man, they're just better than you and they beat you. Now, in 2016 as well, Jay Johnson lost at Arizona to Coastal Carolina. Does Coastal have Jay Johnson's number? Is Jay Johnson going to get the revenge that you know and I know that he wants? Y'all know it and I know it. He wants it. He wants it. But you got to get out and start punching them early, because if and when you do, I'm telling you, in a stadium atmosphere that will come down on them and put all of the pressure on them, will they be able to overcome? And if they do, you tip your cap to them and say, good job. They think that they're going to win. They think that they're better than you. I don't. It's going to be fun and interesting to see. All right, we're going to come back and take your thoughts, questions, concerns right after this. Let me get to a quick break, and when we come back, we'll get to all y'all's comments. Stay with us. Hey, Southwest Louisiana, are you ready to gear up for your next outdoor adventure or tackle that next big job on the farm? Then head on over to Henderson Tractors, Boats, and Power Sports. At Henderson and Lake Charles, they've got everything you need under one massive 30,000 square foot indoor showroom. Kubota tractors and mowers to power through the toughest tasks. Polaris off-road bikes and side-by-sides to conquer any trail. And tracker boats with brands like Ranger, Nitro, Sun Tracker, and Regency pontoons for a day out on the water. Whether you're a farmer or a hunter or just someone who loves the great outdoors, Henderson has what you need to get the job done and have fun while doing it. Browse their new and used inventory over at their website, hendersonimplement.com. That's hendersonimplement.com. Or give them a call today at 337-436-4366. That's 337-436-4366. Or go see them over in Lake Charles on the corner of East McNee Street and Highway 14. Remember, if you need a tractor, go to Henderson. Need a boat? Go to Henderson. Or if you need an ATV or side-by-side, you know where to go. Henderson. Just let them know that your good friend Blake Ruffino over at AYS sent you on by. Guys, I want to talk to you about our good friends over the Drake Williams Law Firm and Drake Title Company. Are you facing tough times due to an injury from a car accident, navigating the complexities of divorce, or purchasing a new home? At the Drake Williams Law Firm and Drake Title Company, they understand the challenges you're going through, and they are here to help. The lawyer team of Ernie Drake III, Ryan J. Williams, and Summer Vignair, along with Morgan Daniels, have the experience and proven track record to give you that peace of mind. Give them a call today at 985-386-7600. That's 985-386-7600 to schedule a free consultation at their brand new office located in historic downtown Ponchatoula. They're also doing a special, the AYS special. If you're refinancing or closing on a home in Southeast Louisiana, request the Drake Title Company to handle your closing. If you mention Blake Ruffino and AYS, you're going to receive a $400 discount on title fees. Again, give them a call at 985-386-7600. Let them know that Blake Ruffino sent you on by. Guys, you might know my good friend Carol Foss and all the great service that he provides over at State Farm. He is your good neighbor after all. But did you know State Farm has surprisingly great rates as well? Along with the great neighbor service, State Farm agent Carol Foss has surprisingly great rates for everyone inside the state of Louisiana. So call him today at 985-395-4300, 985-395-4300 for all of those surprisingly great rates on auto, home, and life insurance needs. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there, and individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to the State Farm underwriting requirements. David Waters says, has Curio hit a home run this season? I can't recall, but if not, the time is now. Yeah, he hit one in the Super Regional. The 3-run bomb against West Virginia was his latest. Yeah, he's hit like 7 or 8 of them. Jerome says, I would like to see some first pitch swings in game 1 instead of taking the strikes. Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. Selectively aggressive. I think game plans change versus guys that you're seeing. And guys, sometimes sometimes, man, you think somebody's going somewhere in some location and to catch up to 97, 98, which Gackle was up to last night, you got to pray to God that you're in the right area and you hit it. And that's exactly what Bear Jones said in the postgame. The dude had been throwing me sliders all time. I knew it was only a matter of time before he threw me a fastball right in the location that I wanted. I kept swinging. He threw one. I was like, okay, here it is. And he tattoos and ties the game. God, he killed that baseball. And guys, a park that other than one game where the wind was blowing out, I mean, yours was too a little bit, but man, I mean, he destroyed that baseball. He absolutely destroyed it. Stephen Young says he's getting it. Baseball gods got us here for a reason. I hope so. The baseball gods are real. And I hope that you are correct there. I really, really, really do. I really, really, really do. Hollis says, "If y'all ain't ever seen the movie Rockadoodle, LOL, look it up. I've never seen it. I never seen it." Tack Tabor 187 says a fighting chicken. Yes, indeed. By the way, I need to say this. You know where I am going, by the way, and all the gear that I'm going to be repping at in Omaha this weekend. It comes from our good friends over at Section 103. Hats, gear, everything that we have is coming from Section 103. Go over to section103.com today for more comfortable than the club seats attire. Hats, shirts, they have it all. Use that promo code AYS at checkout. You'll get a 10% off order when you do go there. Farmer Girl 2016, they beat us and Jay. They sure did. They sure did. It's a rooster. Yeah, we ain't getting beat by no cock. Pause. Ain't happening. Ain't happening. Andrew Taylor says LSU in 2 games. Watch, Blake. I'm calling it now. I hope that you're right. I will need some of y'all to send in super chats and Venmos if God's so willing, to get me home. This isn't an easy trip for independent media. I mean, we're flying out. I'm flying out Tuesday, so I might have to just change a flight. But a national title will be well worth having to go through all that rigmarole. $5 super chat from Dim Tigers on YouTube says, with a heavy right-handed pitching for Coastal Carolina, do you think about Pearson and Brown in the outfield with Curiel at center? No, I think that you still go Stanfield. I think Josh Pearson still plays a role here in some factor, in some way. But no, I still think you got to go Stanfield. You got to still go Stanfield. It'll be interesting to see. I mean, look, you did it to beat Arkansas. But I would still go Chris Stanfield. I still would go Chris Stanfield, if you're asking me. So, yeah. Michael Gray says LSU and LSU Shreveport can make Louisiana the center of college baseball world. They are, and they can, and they should. They can. Thank you, Dim Tigers, for the $5 super chat. I really do appreciate it. It means a lot. Stephen Young says, do you think Braswell does what Jordan Thompson did in the 23 final? Man, I hope so. If he does that, you're winning it. If he does it, you're winning it. You're winning the whole damn thing if he does. David said Florida had injuries down the stretch. They did. Auburn doesn't have the staff we have. I agree. Yes, Auburn beat us, but they're 3 starters through the games of their lives. They did. And guys, think about this. You lost to Mississippi State. You had a series where you lost to Mississippi State. Now, that 2023 team, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think they ever got swept. But it's a completely different team. Completely different situation. Gail on YouTube says, if we win the championship, would you guys who entered the transfer portal get a ring? I don't know. It's a great question. I know Mick Paul will. Probably not. Boone Pierce says, we got to believe, go Tiger baseball. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Gotta believe, man. It's going to be a very fun experience. A very fun experience. Brandon says, hey, Blake, if we win, which team do you think is better? This team or 23? 23. If you're going a 1-game sample size, I would 1,000% go 23. I mean, they got Paul Skeens, brother. Sorry, I'm confirming for whatever reason, my flight seat got changed. By the way, anybody flying United tomorrow out of New Orleans? Just by chance, anybody flying out of United tomorrow morning? I want to stay here to see if any of y'all are flying out of United tomorrow morning. Just put your hand up. We ain't got to talk about what flight we're on. Anybody flying out with United? No? Okay. Okay. Michael on Facebook says, what up, Blake? Just hope Braz get a quick reset. Braz gets a quick reset. I read it as Braz. Braz gets a quick reset before Saturday. I really like him as a player. There's nobody to want to root for more than him. Nobody. Nobody. You want to do that more for. It's just the truth. All right. We're out of here. We'll see y'all in Omaha. Y'all have a great night. Send Venmos, send Super Chat, send your boys some money so I can get home. Just kidding. Not really. Peace.